Hi everyone. So, as you've already heard by the title of this video, I have feelings, right? I went through this situation that kind of mentally brought me back to uh, the state that I had when I was very young of me being repressed. Um, anyway, I gotta mention how I was just off of the channel for a bit and how I wasn't uploading for these past few weeks or these past few days. I just want to apologize for that. And but first, oh, sorry, I'm like on FaceTime with a friend right now. He has a new YouTube user, so I really do appreciate it if you guys will check out his new YouTube channel. I really do appreciate that. So sorry if that will be distracted to me or to you, but I'm gonna turn it down just a little bit just in case, if it will. So, how should I start this? So, let's just say that, the reason why I felt repressed, like, on this upload, right, on the day of this upload, and the reason why I haven't had it ever since I was very young, was because I was abused. I had a pretty bad upbringing when I was little. I was only 3, and my brother was 5 years old around this time. Um, my father, who's like an old man, I gotta mention that. He was a bald old man. He had no facial hair left. He had no hair. He basically was already past his uh, male pattern baldness. Um, I'll have the all recipes notification, like notifications come up. They just do like allow like dings, so I'll be a little bit distracted by that. So yes, I had a pretty bad like upbringing, but that also caused my mother to go into court and basically have a restraining order towards my dad. Now that was already like a scandal. The fact that my mom was kind of like into her early 40s, and then we have this old man as my dad, right? As my real father. That's a bit of a scandal. But when they like met, which was the 80s, which I'm over exaggerating it, saying that it was a long time ago, it really wasn't for a lot of people, but I'm just saying that just in case. They didn't think, so when they both met, they didn't think it would be a scandal because my mother was younger than him, essentially, at that time. And they didn't. People around that time didn't think it would be scandalous. They really didn't think about that, so they decided to be in this relationship with each other. So that's how they met. I'm not trying to trauma dump. I'm just trying to explain, or I'm just trying to recollect and explain to you where my repression basically started. But that's how they basically met, right? I'm not gonna say like their names just for privacy reasons, because those are my real parents. I'm not gonna say their names, but yeah, ever since then, that has caused me to have a lower self-esteem. Um, Especially when I was in elementary school in my local town. Um, I thought that the teachers there that were trying to help me, try to make sure that I succeeded in life, um, I thought that they were abusing me, and, I had really bad thoughts like that, and it was not fun for me at all. Um, and later on, when I was like maybe 8 years old, I was like, why am I here? Why do I need this much help? You know what I mean? Especially from the staff. you know. Um, yeah, it caused me to have a low self-esteem to the point I basically had those thoughts that would make me angry in the inside. And those were one of those things I told you about. Um, and what else? But yeah, I actually did have a picture of me with my elementary school teacher, where she holding me by the lap like this. She holding me by the lap like this in this picture, and here's like little me, right? It. I almost looked like I was almost about to cry at that moment. That's what my mom told me, um, and it, that basically showed how much of a low self-esteem I had, and it basically turned me into this lazy, mentally minded person over time. Um, to the point, I'm going to explain this type of addiction that I did have. It's not like drugs. I wasn't in laced with drugs when I was I wasn't in laced with drugs when I was younger. Um, but I had this addiction to frozen fries, alright? Potatoes to me were good, so I kept on eating them, but it caused me to be very plump. You know what I mean? And that only happened until I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome. So when I was 11, that's when it stopped. And yes, I had a low self-esteem, and around that time, I was also having psychosis or PTSD. Uh, what are they called? Not like visions, because those are hallucinations. But oh my gosh, I forgot. But you guys can let me know. Um, Memories. Yes, I had replayed memories, but this one was like replayed. Now this is like one of the memories I actually did have. They were like replayed, and in a YouTube editing thing, like it looked like it was edited by YouTube, right? Like an editing like software that you guys probably do use on this platform. And um it was all white black and white stuff, and when I was like little, I didn't follow the directions, right? Because of this repressment. Because of me being repressed. So I literally this is how it went. So I literally put my hands on the desk, and I screamed no, and that was basically it. That was like the only like memory that I had that's basically a symptom of PTSD. Um, at least I hope it is, or a psychosis. It might be either or. Um, but that happened when I was like 8 years old, so when I was like very young. You know what I mean? And my friend told me that it's because of the teachers making me dumb. It's because of, you know, my parent or guardian. I'm not gonna say who, but it's because of that, making me dumb and stuff. So that, you know, um, which I didn't know at the time that it was because of those reasons, but it could just be because of those reasons. Um, but so basically, I'm gonna tell you the story about what happened today, which is when this upload is gonna be happening, or when this is gonna be posted. Is the same day where I had the situation, and then I went back to that repressed state that I had when I was that much younger. You know what I mean? So my friend was trying to help me with the Xbox controller and stuff. This only happened like yesterday after I got my console. Um, I forgot everything. Like, I swear to you, I forgot everything about the controller. It it was bad. My friend was mad at me for it. Um, but once we had our other friend earlier, later that night, so like basically that night, or like yesterday night for me, um, he basically helped me manage the controller, how to work it, because with those things, you're not supposed to overthink it. And I was just overthinking it. And, you know, yeah, so I am trying to get a hang of it, but my friend told me that it would take me months or a decade even to get used to the controller. So that kind of reassured me. But this afternoon, I was just crying. It was, I was just crying to the point I told him about. I called it like a cycle. It's not really like a cycle. It's more like a bad habit. But that I've been having for so long, I just didn't realize it mentally that I was doing it. And I gotta get to the point. And I said to him that, hey, you told me these bad things, and I tell them to my mother, right? And he told me that, yeah, that's a bad habit. That's a, you know. And the lazy part of my brain told me that it was very upsetting for me to hear. It was just. It wasn't the best thing for me to hear. It basically made me anxious at that moment. And he still cares for me, and that's all that matters. He still loves me, and you know that, I mean, that's all that matters. But now I'm back at that repressed state that I had ever since I was that young. You know what I mean? But yes, I just want to tell you guys about my feelings. I'm not trying to trauma dump, because those videos, I mean, people with these kind of videos, like in the comments, people might assume with these kind of videos that it's just trauma dumping. I'm not trying to trauma dump. I'm just trying to tell you about my feelings and what I have experienced, which is like PTSD, like with that repressed memory that I saw. You know what I mean? So something like that. Like a symptom of PTSD. So, and yeah, this is mostly my story of how I had a rough upbringing, and it caused me to have low self-esteem in myself and whatever. Yep. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Okay. Anyway, I'm hoping that you guys think of this as informative about my past, and and about the mental issues that I have, and hopefully that you guys understand that, and be honest, and just be like an honest, like, human being, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.